Lex Fridman does not just interview guests, he stress tests them. 3 hours, no easy exits, no surface answers, and if there is a gap between what you say publicly and what the evidence shows, he'll probably find it and push you to explain why. However, those who enter the room usually leave even more credible. Why? Because they're prepared, they're briefed. And today, I'm showing you the producer-level briefing framework that helps experts survive intimidating interviews and actually use them to build authority. This is Think Like a Producer, an on-cam ready presentation. I'm Jamie Maglietta. I'm a television news veteran, media coach, and founder of On Cam Ready Media. Today's episode is for you if you have ever thought, what if I'm being interviewed by someone smarter than me? Or more prepared than I am? Or someone who asks that one question I'm hoping they would avoid. Because the answer is not to memorize more talking points. The answer is to be prepared, like the stakes are real. If you like the direction I'm taking Think Like a Producer, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel On Cam Ready Media and follow us on your podcast platform of choice. All right, let's get into Lex Fridman. The look of his YouTube show also reminds me of the Huberman Lab. Be sure to check out that episode too. But Lex has interviewed Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, scientists, philosophers, mathematicians, and world-class thinkers, and yet at CNN, I didn't even know who he was. But on YouTube, wow, he is so huge. He has a huge following. You need to check him out. His style is not loud or combative. That's what makes it dangerous. He lets silence sit. He asks layered questions, and eventually he gets to the gap, the part of the argument that is not fully formed, not fully supported, or not honest. That is where unprepared guests start managing the interview instead of leading it. Prepared guests do something different. They engage with those hard questions. They stay grounded and use the pressure to prove their expertise. I highly recommend that before you go into any interview, you're well prepared to deliver stats or facts if you're an academic expert. I also recommend that you know trends or intricate details about your niche so that you can weave that knowledge into your responses. That will also help you stand out as an authority. All right, when I was producing at CNN, high stakes guests did not just walk into major interviews without talking points. I have an episode on sound bites, so definitely check that out. But talking points means they've been briefed. They had a prep session where they discussed all the possible questions and how they should respond. You need to be doing the same thing. So here's the framework on how to do just that. You need to do opposition research on yourself. Google yourself. Rewatch your interviews. Reread your own posts. Look for contradictions. Do people disagree with you? Do you have an outdated opinion? Make sure you know all that before you go into this conversation. You also want to make sure that you're prepared for the weakest criticism. Prepare for the strongest version of your opposing argument. If you cannot answer that, you are not ready. So be sure you have your stats and facts all lined up. And you want to make sure you have an ambush list. Write down the 5 questions you least want to be asked, then answer them out loud on camera until you can handle them without panicking. 4th, know your narrative thread. Okay, what is the one thing you want the audience to remember, to take away from your conversation? You need to know that and own that, because when the conversation gets difficult, complicated, or emotional, you need to weave that point back into your responses. Relevancy attracts media. That's my one little point that I always have to weave in. What's yours? So on this list that I just gave you, right, we had, let me just review it. First was do opposition research on yourself. You also want to make sure that you're prepared for the criticism. 3rd, you build out your ambush question list. 4th, you know your narrative thread. Now let's get into some tactical skills. Okay, once you're in the interview, 3 things matter most. Pause. A strategic pause does not make you look unsure. It makes you look thoughtful. Rushing reads as defensive, pausing reads as authority. Okay, does that make sense? So you are going to have strategic pauses. You don't want to be rushing through because that comes across as defensive. Pausing reads as authority. So, for example, if someone asks, Jamie, what's your main framework? Oh, my main framework is bookable. I did that because it's like, oh, I want to add like a little dramatic pause. I want to give some authority. Someone says, okay, Jamie, how many years have you worked in television news? I worked in television news for over 20 years. I can't believe I started my career at MSNBC and wound up at BET before wrapping up my corporate career in 2024. See how there were some pauses in that? I'm choosing to do that to get you to hang on my words. You want to practice your delivery. All right. You also want to acknowledge and redirect. Okay. If a question comes at you and it's a hard one, you never want to say, I don't know the answer. Never say that. You could say, that's a fair tension point or that's a fair argument, but never say, I don't know. You always want to redirect. It'll keep you honest. So you may want to say like, oh, that's a hard question and here's how I think about it. Or, maybe skip that point because every second counts if it's a TV interview. If it's a hard question, you want to acknowledge that question. And if you can't answer it, you want to redirect to that point that I made about media relevancy. Okay. So if someone's like, oh, Jamie, have you saw the latest stats on YouTube? No, I haven't. But if you're looking to be more relevant to the media, now is the time to be showing up on YouTube. Did I answer the question? No, not really. And I also didn't say, I don't know. Redirect to the points you want to make. Okay. Bring your energy. Do not disappear into the host's tone. Okay. Lex is calm and measured. That does not mean you have to be smaller or quieter. If you're warm, bring it. Conviction, clarity, presence, bring it all. The guests who hold up in a Lex Fridman interview are not always the ones with the slickest answers. They are the ones who demonstrate mastery in real time. So that's what a producer notices. It's not perfection, it's presence. Can you think under pressure? Can you answer a question under pressure? Are you ready for the hard questions? Can you stay human when the interview gets uncomfortable? Because if you can hold up in that room, you can hold up almost anywhere. And that is going to help you build know, like, and trust. So if you have a podcast media interview panel or high stakes appearances coming up, I want you to start with my visibility bundle. It's at oncamready.com. You can download this free bundle. It'll help you with your on-camera ready checklist as well as audit yourself online so you can start that research, that competitive research of yourself to see what's out there. And if you want to go a little deeper, I also have a digital course called the Visibility Program. It helps you clarify your message, get you more media ready, and also start creating content. So if you're looking to start showing up on social media and you don't really know where to start, I go over framing and editing using CapCut. All right, guys, you need some homework. So on this Think Like a Producer, I am giving you homework. I want you to watch one of Lex's interviews. Find the hardest question. Watch what the guest does. Do they deflect? Ramble? Do they engage with it and come out stronger? Then run yourself through a brief framework. Your opposition research, you have that download to help. Your ambush questions, your narrative thread, make sure you remember it all. That is how you stop hoping the interview goes well and start producing the outcome. I'm Jamie Maglietta. This is Think Like a Producer. Be sure to follow us on your podcast platform of choice and find us on YouTube at On Cam Ready. We are pouring so much into it. And I say we, but really it's me. I'm a solo creator. And after 20 years in television news production, I had trouble not producing something. So I'm producing myself to lead by example. And if you're on my YouTube channel or you're liking this on your podcast platform, Leave us a review. Let us know what you think. And if you have ideas for other episodes, reach out. And I'll see you online.